We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Wednesday, April 23rd here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're tuning into News Generation. Joining us today is Park Ki-eun.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. And Grace Park.
Hello.
Hello. Now both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So we're going to begin with our keyword news. Our keyword for this Wednesday is tribute. Tributes continue to pour in from around the world for Pope Francis, who passed away on Monday due to a stroke and heart failure. Currently, the Pope's body lies in an open casket at the Casa Santa Marta papal residence. According to the Vatican, it will be moved to St. Peter's Basilica on Wednesday morning, local time. He will lie in state until Saturday's funeral, giving the public an opportunity to pay their final respects. But it's not just the Catholic community mourning his passing. Pope Francis has often been called the People's Pope, remembered as a transformational and courageous leader. So Grace, could you please tell us more about the legacy that Pope Francis leaves behind?
Sure. Born in Argentina, Pope Francis was the first man from outside of Europe to become Pope in more than 1,200 years. And in more ways than one, he broke much new ground, pioneering new approaches to long-held Catholic traditions and practices. Under his leadership, the Holy See saw a significant shift, focusing on bridging the gap between the elite administration and its flock. He sought to empower ordinary people everywhere by advocating for unity, social justice, and mutual respect, prioritizing compassion and reconciliation through the church. He rejected anything resembling extravagance, for instance, opting for public transportation and modest living arrangements instead of the more elaborate homes that were inhabited by his predecessors. And his work in the poorest neighborhoods of Buenos Aires even earned him the moniker Slum Bishop.
So he was such a beloved Pope, and we saw that he was out from the hospital. We saw his health getting a bit better, but then we heard the tragic news, which I think saddened a lot of people even more.
Yeah.
Right, so no wonder people across the world are remembering Pope Francis. So Ki-won, I want to ask you, what about here in Korea? How are we mourning the passing of the Pope?
So according to the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Korea, CBCK, on Tuesday, the South Korean Catholic Church will send a 3-member delegation to the Vatican for the funeral mass of Pope Francis. The CBCK will not hold an official national memorial mass. Instead, individual dioceses will be allowed to celebrate memorial masses at their own discretion. Memorial altars for the late Pope have been set up at the Apostolic Nunciature in Seoul and in the underground chapel of Myeongdong Cathedral for the public to pay tribute. And also, leaders from around the world have also announced that they will be paying tribute. French President Emmanuel Macron, United States President Donald Trump, and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and of course, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have said they'll be attending the funeral in person on Saturday.
And talking about the funeral of Pope Francis will take place this Saturday at 10 a.m. local time in St. Peter's Square. His final resting place will be at the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore in Rome. And that was our keyword news for this Wednesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Wednesday is when we explore some of the hottest lifestyle trends shaping the lives of younger generations. Take a look at the screen to see what's in the spotlight today. Yesterday, April 22nd, was Earth Day, a globally recognized day that shines a light on environmental issues like pollution, deforestation, and the urgent need to preserve our planet. As we've covered before on NewsGen, climate change consistently ranks as one of the top concerns among millennials and Gen Z. So today, we're turning our focus to the green movement, that is, how young people are taking action to protect Mother Nature. So, as we saw in the VCR, yesterday was Earth Day, a moment to reflect on how we're treating our planet Earth. So starting off, Grace, would you say that more young people are becoming eco-conscious and vocal about environmental issues?
Yeah, millennials and Gen Z, who are very much at the forefront of experiencing the negative effects of climate change, are aware of the seriousness of the issue. And that's why I think that there's been a growing popularity and awareness on e-friendly practices over recent years, like using more tumblers, eco-friendly packaging, and upcycling. We're also seeing a new word pop up called MZeco, which is a combination of the words MZ and eco. And this basically embodies the idea that the younger generation values the environment and makes it a priority to live their day-to-day lives in a more environmentally conscious way.
Thank you. And I want to ask you, what are some examples that really show how our generation is turning awareness into action?
So this has been a very common topic that we've frequently touched upon on NewsGen.
Right.
MZ is engaged in a wide range of activities for the sake of the environment. Since fast fashion is considered one of the major culprits of environmental pollution, many youngsters avoid it by purchasing second-hand items. And an example of purchasing second-hand items would be the growing popularity of 당근 market, which is South Korea's largest local community-based second-hand marketplace application. Another example of young people supporting the sustainability of the environment when it comes to shopping would be purchasing clothes that are used with recycled materials that encourages more, I guess, value-driven consumption. And they also participate in activities like plugging and beachcombing, which is picking up litter and trash while walking and jogging along beaches or in forests. And they also practice zero waste lifestyles. And on top of that, reducing plastic use is also a major area of interest for MZers like us.
And talking about real life examples, one movement that's catching fire lately is the use of reusable tumblers instead of single-use disposable cups. And it's not just trendy anymore, it's actually becoming a lifestyle. So, Hyun, how widespread would you say this habit has become among young people?
For MZers, a tumbler is no longer just a cup. It's actually a kind of an accessory, and I'm sure Grace will explain further later on. They treat tumblers as a fashion item,
Right.
matching them with their style in various colors, and even decorating them with stickers and like just what do you call them, like straw caps as well, like putting on top of the straws. It's just like how they decorate journals. There's a trend called 닦구, which is 다이어리 꾸미기, where they just decorate their journals here in Korea. And some tumbler brands have become so popular among MZers that they experience shortages with resale prices soaring up to 700 Korean won, almost $500. And this type of new accessory has caught on with American stars like Olivia Rodrigo and Molly May Hague, seen walking with a colorful tumbler in their hand and even talking about it in an interview, saying how cool it is, that how she wanted to get her hands on one of these cool tumblers. So I guess it is safe to say that tumblers are the ultimate trendy item that both reduces single-use waste and keeps up with the latest fads.
It has become new hip.
It has.
And as you mentioned, Grace is going to tell us and actually show us how trendy tumblers have become. So Grace, please explain more.
So this is my tumbler. This is the cap that Kyun also mentioned.
So that's part of customizing your tumbler, right?
So you can do a lot of things to customize your tumbler and make it your own. It also seems like people are using their tumblers for more than just beverages these days. Some are using them for foods like 떡볶이 or stir-fried rice cakes.
Really?
어묵탕, which is fish cake soup, 삼계탕 ginseng chicken soup, and even 숭늉, which is boiled scorched rice, which I must admit sound like pretty good ideas to keep your foods warm, but don't worry, I don't have.
Are you sure?
in this.
Is it water inside?
It's water. Trust
Could be
me,
like
it's
fish
water.
cakes inside.
So I mean, now the obvious reasons why people are using tumblers to put their foods into is that one, tumblers can prevent the smells of these foods from seeping out into public spaces like subways or buses. Tumblers can keep them nice and hot, and it's much easier to carry around than bulky containers.
And most of all, they're very eco-friendly.
Exactly.
But as we know, too much of a good thing can be bad, and some people have started collecting way too many tumblers, which kind of sometimes defeats the purpose. So what's the smartest way or the most eco-friendly way to use these reusable cups, would you say?
Although the numbers may vary by study, a stainless steel tumbler needs to be used. I was very surprised to actually read on this. It has to be used at least 220 to 1,000 times to be more environmentally friendly than a disposable, like a paper cup.
That's quite a big number.
It is, in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. So that's why proper care and long-term use are essential. So the average lifespan of a tumbler is about 2 to 3 years. So to clean it, you can fill the tumbler with lukewarm water mixed with baking soda. Let it sit for about an hour and then rinse it with water to remove any buildup or and odors inside, like the smell of maybe fish cake soup or tteokbokki. However, it should not be boiled in hot water. Put in a dishwasher or scrub with steel wool, as it can actually damage the inside and cause, I guess, it cause harm to your body.
That's a very useful tip because I thought that you needed to cleanse your tumbler with boiling water, but
You shouldn't.
apparently that's
Apparently
not
you shouldn't.
the case.
Yeah. Not in like really hot water, just lukewarm water, add baking soda or even vinegar. Drops of vinegar can also help. Yeah, so a tip for you, Grace.
Yes, I'll be using that.
Grace,
Yeah.
could you give us more tips as a tumbler user?
Yes, so in the last few years, as we all know, disposable cups in Korea have been banned for eat-in use at F&B establishments. And major coffee shops generally offer a discount of 200 to 500 Korean won if you opt to have your beverage poured into your own personal tumbler. So yeah, this definitely offers an incentive to being more e-friendly.
Right.
And I didn't know this, but stainless steel, which probably makes up most of the tumblers that we use, are recyclable. So there's a way to donate them, and some companies take the donations and then they resell them or disassemble them and then upcycle them.
And talking about tumbler discounts, you're not only saving money, but also you can save the environment. So to find out whether tumbler culture is going global, we ran a poll on our Arirang YouTube channel. We asked our viewers how many tumblers they own. It was a funny question, and the choices were none, 1, 2, or 3 or more. And 36% answered none, 29% say they own 3 or more tumblers, 19% said they have 1 tumbler, and 16% said 2 tumblers. And we've also picked out 3 standout comments. Our first comment for this Wednesday is by BennyD97. I have more than 3 because my family received them as giveaways or even prizes. Iggy Story says 1 for work and 1 for my house. DKFM1077. I have 1 I use at work and another for outdoor activities. I like them because they keep my drinks hot or cold and also help me reduce disposable waste. So we've heard from our viewers, and now I want to ask the same question to our panelists. So starting with you, Kyun, do you personally use a tumbler? And also I want to ask you what kind of eco-friendly habits you're sticking to your life to save our planet Earth.
I personally don't use a tumbler myself, but I do have a very close friend who has many different tumblers for different purposes. So one would be for like coffee, the other one would be for tea, another one would be for like going to the gym. So I was like, wow, she's really into tumblers. Anyway, answering your second question, besides recycling and trying to use less water when taking a shower and doing the dishes, when I get food delivered, I unbox the option of asking for plastic spoons, forks, and even wooden chopsticks. It may be a small rule that I keep, but I think little things can make a big difference in the long run. And another habit that I've picked up is picking up trash that I see around me, even if it's not mine. So I've noticed many people actually littering, even though there is like a trash can very visible in front of them. And it's usually not picked up by other people unless there's a janitor around. So I thought, if I see trash, visible where there is a trash can that I can actually throw away, I would actually just pick up any kind of trash that I see. And it's a habit that I've picked up recently and something that I'm really proud of.
You should be proud of yourself.
I am, definitely.
Now to you, Grace, besides using your tumbler, what other lifestyles are you adopting to be kinder to the environment?
Yeah, I do love my tumbler and I use them even more than my regular cups and mugs these days because I like how they just keep my beverages hot and cold for much longer. I've also been upcycling some of my old clothes by reusing the fabric to make accessories like scrunchies. And in the kitchen, I have a food waste processor, which basically dries out the food and then turns it into a biodegradable form, and then you can just toss it in the trash can. And this is making cooking much more fun for me and my life much more easier. And like Ki-hoon said, I've been making a conscious effort to take shorter showers.
Very eco-friendly. So to hear more about eco-friendly habits from across the globe, we'll connect with a young person from Italy after this short break. Stay with us.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang.News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us this Wednesday is Italian millennial Hanteri. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to see you again.
We're happy to see you again as well. So starting off, Hanteri, are you a Tumblr user yourself? And if so, how much do you use it in your daily life?
Actually, I do right now too. I also use it a lot. I've been using it, I think, every day since 2 years ago. And I use it when I'm at work. So I have another one in my office, and then I have this one for usually working out or just going out. And I usually use it in a simple way. So it's just for water, for coffee, or just for a tea. And I also love it because it keeps it really fresh, especially during summer. I think it's the best one. So I really like it.
Hanteri, besides tumblers, what other habits or activities do you do to help protect the environment?
Actually, I was taught since when I was really young. So in Italy, we actually care about the environment really a lot. So we don't have that many one-time disposable plastic cups. And so I was a bit shocked when I came to Korea the first time to see everyone using plastic a lot. And you can see also in the supermarkets, a lot of like fruits or vegetables, they have a lot of layers. And that's something that doesn't happen usually in Italy. We actually just take up, like we grab the fruits and the vegetables without that. So I tend to do that as much as I can. So I try to go to local markets and try to buy things local. And I also try to not do take out or do pedal delivery as much as I can. So that's one part of the things I'm trying to do. And another part is just simple things. So for example, I just do my I separate my waste as much as I can, and I also try to take a bike or go walking if it's not too far. So in Seoul, there's this application that is for sharing bikes, and I have the annual subscription for that. So I try to use it as much as I can and try to use buses instead of using my car. So these are all little things I try to do. And I used to buy a lot of cheap clothes in the past, but now I try to buy clothes that are made in a friendly, like environment friendly way and something I can wear for longer. So those are the things I try to do.
All right then, Hanteri, what do you think are some simple but powerful ways that we can help take care of our planet?
I think that as singular persons, like we cannot do a big things like a big thing, right? So we all are part of a big ocean, so we're all small part of this big ocean, and we should all do just a little thing. Like also you said, just take the garbage you see on the street, or just use your tumbler, or just like all small things that sum up and make a better environment. So I think one of the biggest problem of we have is that we think we have to do something really big, but actually we can just start with small steps. And I think that if everyone thinks the same, it's going to help a lot. For example, also when you buy something, maybe think 3 times more, do I really need it? Like also for the tumbler, actually you just need one. You don't need 5, even though they are pretty. You can just have yours for 3 years and then you can change it. So that's a good thing. And then another thing is when you buy something, maybe look how it was made, what kind of material was used. Those are all little things that might help. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Hanteri, thank you so much for spending your time this morning with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
So looking at the big picture, industrialization has made life more convenient, but it's also taken a heavy toll on our planet. For example, from rising temperatures to extreme weather, we're seeing and feeling the consequences. So we may not be able to turn back the clock, but what can we do now to stop things from getting worse in the future?
Just to add on what Han-Terry mentioned a few moments ago, reducing carbon footprint could be one of the steps. Even though driving a car may be a bit more convenient, using public transport whenever you can will help reduce carbon emission. Even though you see many cars here in Seoul, it's full of cars in the road, but public transport here in Korea is one of the most accessible, affordable, and convenient ones in the world. At least from my experience and from all the visitors that actually came to Korea in Seoul and have actually told me. So not only does it save you time, but it also saves you money as well, especially during peak hours.
So thinking of small ways that you can reduce your carbon footprint, for example, using public transportation.
Yep.
What do you suggest, Grace?
You know, I feel like living in Korea actually forces you to become like a pro recycler. So now when I visit the United States, I'm so much more aware of how much trash I make on a daily basis, and I feel guilty throwing away everything from paper and plastic to food and liquids all into one trash can. But if active recycling practices are not common where you live, I think small steps also make a big difference. I suggest maybe using your consumer power to make a statement, like choosing to buy something over the other of a similar product because of lesser packaging that a company uses. And personally, I changed the brand of water that I buy to another one that had label-free packaging because, yes, while I do care about the environment, I also don't want to spend my whole day taking labels off to separate my recycling items.
Small actions do have the potential to make a huge difference. All right, and that's all we have for today, but Newsden will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Park Yoon.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, and Grace Park.
Great to be here.
Thank you, and to our viewers, thank you for spending time with us, and hope you tune in tomorrow as well. We are
News Generation.